everyone, welcome to YourPedia and this is Shubha. So this video is going to be a discussion on a group task. What is group task all about? What is the basic structure of a group task? And yes, also I'll provide you a group task which you will solve it with me, and I'll provide you a sample solution too. Now very first thing is that I have given you a number of group discussions in my videos. Now I would like to make you familiar like what is the difference between a group discussion and a group task. Just one thing you need to understand is a group discussion was there where a kind of topic was given to you and you could provide some of the counter statements, you could counter your panel mates, and in the conclusion also you could mention all such pointers like cons and pros, both the things could be mentioned over there. But in group task, a situation, a kind of a task is provided to your team. But by the end of that, you need to provide a mutual consensus need to be formulated by your entire team. So that is one common solution is needed by the end of your group task. And it should be in the mutual agreement of each one, of one another of yours, right? So all of you should have a mutual agreement to whatever the solution is provided by your team. Now let's get started. Like first, the things which I've already mentioned, that group task is very similar to group discussion, but yes, a lot of differences are there in it. Task is a riddle and you must be solving it out. So it can be a task, can be like it can be on some kind of, you can say, your input of in situation, you have to prioritize certain things. You met with an accident in a highway and you have to check it out, like how you can help someone, these things, about some water prevention acts, about some common acts to compete that situation. So all there are different situations, different riddles on which a group task is being formulated to you, and a solution must be reached through consensus. Now this is a word you need to highlight because it's through consensus. Every member of the team must try to reach the solution of the task. You have to behave as a team member. And you should not cut anyone unnecessary and try to bring others into discussion. Now first, this thing is which I have seen multiple times is that the students become hyperactive in their group task. That's not required. You don't need to be hyperactive. You need to welcome others' opinion also, and you need to counter the statements of them in a very polite and a courteous way. Suppose you do not agree with someone, you have to say very respectfully, sorry, I could not relate to your point. Can you just explain it in a better way? Or can we just rediscuss about it? Because these are the pointers which showcase your soft skills, like how polite you are while your conversation is still going on and people have come up with different ideas. So you have to be cooperating, you try to cooperate with others. You should always be a part of a team. You should try to develop the consensus. Never stand alone in the discussion. That's very important because sometimes the students in the conclusion, they try to provide their own consensus. There's also participate, give others also chance to participate. It should not be that you're cutting one person again and again. That's not required. So each person should be given a chance to speak, and if someone is speaking, you should not cut that person in between. Give others chance to speak. Be humble to others during discussion. Don't try to read entire task as it may carry lots of superfluous data and information and may not be feasible for you to read it at all. Now one very important thing is what we in HPCL 2, the group task is very long. It's not like a very short one. When I try to formulate to give a simulation to students, I try to give them first a paraphrase, then a bigger portion, so that by the end they are able to solve 3 to 4 pages altogether. And when you're describing a group task in your introduction, it should not be that you are completely rereading the group task. That's not required. You have to paraphrase it on your own sense. You need to understand the important pointers, and those are the only pointers that you need to speak in your discussion, in your group task. Other pointers, unnecessary pointers, you could eliminate. Try to get the gist of the task and identify what is the main issue involved and what is the main task. So this one is very important. You need to understand the main task and the main issue of it, right? Then comes is, what are the basic structure? Similar to GD, it also has 3 structures. Introduction, your basic in middle part, body part, and then it is your conclusion. So then again the introduction, it is similar way that you have to greet everyone, you have to introduce the task provided, and that should be in your own terminology, in your own words. Meaning, the idea of that task. Then you have to provide various dimensions of the task if you can, like classification, types, and this provides broad heading under which the task should be discussed and solution should be provided. Your opinion must be explained as what you think you can put the solution or the way you can explain the task. Remember one thing, when you are explaining your own pointer, you don't have to give all the pointers which you have written at that time. You have to give one point at a time and let others also either agree agree or disagree to it. Then only a discussion continues, and then only a mutual consensus is being formalized for discussion on the task. Body part, same way, start a discussion on the points as per the direction of the introduction. Try to make linkages. Initially, try to cover all the important points you can talk about. You need to discuss cons, pros, seek clarification by asking questions, ask questions from others. This helps to make others silent and listen to your point also. Provide examples, some real life situations could be there, and these are the sentences like, I don't agree with you, I agree with your opinion, let me add to what you just said, why do you think this is the case? Friends, let me provide you with one data. Friends, let me quote the lines of Gandhi. So that's the way it goes on related to body part, and then it is like, friends, if you allow me, I want to put my point forth. Friends, you will agree with me that, let me tell you an incident or story. Try to enter minimum 3 times during the discussion. So it is, yeah, 3 to 4 times. It depends on the time which is being provided to you, and accordingly you have to divide yourself. It should not be 3 times at very start, at the starting, in the middle, at the end. That is the kind of participation you require, right? Then comes to conclusion. Same way, the conclusion should be that you should start noting down the pointers, some famous quotes of the other people also, whatever you find are very interesting and that could be discussed by then, you should write that as a. The conclusion of GT is conclusion of the entire group, and it must contain the points that are provided by each member. Make all the points said by the members in the GT solution must be reached through consensus, and as a part must be explained well. So yeah, on the behalf of everyone, I'm going to conclude. It was a very healthy discussion. Who could find the solution through mutual consensus? Then you could provide the solution to the task, and you have to say thank you. So now it is the exact task. Even you can have a screenshot of this task and you can read it out. I'll read it with you. Venture expansion and diversification. So that is a topic. So it is like some ABC companies doing good in the field of construction, and it is well-established company of construction and is in the business for past 20 years. Expand the business and diversify it, and some other fields also. Resources for expansion exist but not unlimited. Company has a dedicated pool of employees who are with the company since its inception. Also suggest how can the skill of the existing staff be enhanced so that they start doing multitasking and may be of some help to the company and its journey of growth. You are part of team created by the company management to suggest the options of diversification and expansion. So this is something that is required from your side. You are to suggest the fields in which the company must diversify and expand. And when you suggest the options, you must also provide the rationale, the reason behind it. How can the existing pool of resources be used for this? So this is something that is very important. It was a generic one that some companies trying to provide, or you can say wants to grow in in its field. And now you as a member of the team, you have to suggest certain things. How can the decision be taken so expansion is effective and provides good results? In which field the probability of success will be high? How should this be approached? What will be the various opportunities and challenges in this? And what can be challenges? So this is the entire thing that you need to understand. Now coming to the important part is, what is the solution which I have made it for you? Right? So I'll give you how you need to explain it out. You don't have to read it out. You just have to explain the important pointers. My name is this, and let me introduce you all the task of today's group task. The topic of today's group task is expansion and diversification of company ABC. Name that topic. We have provided a case study where a well-established company is in stage of expansion and diversification into different fields. There can be numerous options of diversification expansion, but we should reach on some option through consensus where the probability of success is maximum and entire process. Company already has a rich pool of people and resources, but all of them are not very capable of the particular specific areas. In my opinion, friends, now this is related to your opinion, we should try to zero in on couple of situations which are related to construction industry, so that already existing knowledge of the company along with resources could be utilized and personally channelized. Let's think of some of the options, and which is something related to real estate itself. One option I can think of is hospitality infrastructure sector relating to making of hostels, etc. another related to interior designing domains. Now see, the person only mentioned 1 or 2 pointers at a time, not all the pointers which he might have thought of. There's a huge market where people of interior decoration and designing of their homes are already existing resources can be of some help in that. Hospitality and tourism infrastructure can be another closely related to this diversification. So we should now the person is trying to channelize a discussion that first we need to identify the fields, second is related to opportunities and challenges involved in it, and third is how you need to overcome these challenges. So it is like the person who introduced tried to provide that the three are the areas on which we should start our discussion. That the fields, how you need to identify the fields. The very first, as we discussed, that the field for expansion must be related to construction, and the members can be hospitality, infrastructure and interior designing. We may plan to provide both online as well as offline services to the customers. What can be the scope and scalability of such domains which we are trying to choose? What can be resource requirement on these options? Every member should agree on the final chosen. Then as opportunities and challenges associated with this field. So there are number of challenges, like you can say already existing competition is there are some well established players in the market, scope of expansion, scalability, resource requirement, skilled people requirement, how to make the beginning, site selection if possible, new hiring is required, DPR to be prepared, and market survey must be done for this option, because we need to understand what are the things which are very prominent in the market, what is the need of the market, and what are the solutions only then we can provide by understanding the need of the market. So it's like how to overcome it out. It is like first we need to understand, provide the solution to the problems that are already identified. How to train, the training of the people is very, very important, and you have to train them out. Hiring of the key functionaries, pooling and seeking mentoring from the professionals related to new domain. Then by the end, there is a conclusion. Let me conclude on the behalf of entire group. We had a great discussion on various aspects of the task being provided to us, and yes, we could reach a consensus on the field to be chosen for expansion and diversification. We also discussed some challenges. We also discussed how to overcome these challenges. So this is something that we have already discussed, and training, enhancement of power, making them suitable new assignments. And then you can quote, this person said this, and there have been 5 pointers, 6 pointers, whatever is the way of your speaking. And by then you have to say thank you, don't make an abrupt ending by the end, right? So this is just a simulation, a skeleton where I've provided you of this group task. I'll be coming up with a different kind of group task so that you can have an idea, like when the topics of prioritizing come, when some situation of increasing the marketing strategies are there, when some situation you are put into when you are to provide solution to something. Like it was also something that we are to increase the marketing agenda, provided challenges, the solutions. So everything like this you have to understand, and you have to cope up with these problems. All this requires is immense patience. You need to be calm and composed, and you need to agree with your team, and that is the way you can provide the best solution by your teammates. So keep on practicing GTs with us, and all the best. I'll be coming soon with the new GT topics. Take care and have a good day. Bye-bye.